Today we are doing peanut butter and grape jelly sandwiches and peanut butter with strawberry jelly sandwiches. I just wanted to let you guys know about the surprise packages that will be sent out with the Patreon. And anyone who is signing up in the month of August is getting the full S'more charm collection the beginning week of September. In all the future packages that are being sent out, there will be at least one from the tutorials of the previous month, and there will be at least one that I'll call Blast from the Past, which will be from tutorials that I have done in the past. So the Patreon link will be in the description box, and here we go. I start turning it into a square. You can smooth the corners. I have yellow ochre and a rust color. I try to do yellow ochre and rust, and I painted around all the sides and put a little bit of texture into the sides. So I'm texturing it like cake, and I tap ever so gently. I'm going to slice into my bread. If you've noticed that it's gotten to be a little bit more rectangular, take your slice from the long end because it will push your clay down slightly. From here, I cut it in half. And you texture the sides just like this. I have Primo Ecru, Primo Raw Sienna, some orange. That's to really warm it up. And you may have to play around a little bit to get the peanut butter right, and you don't need a whole lot of peanut butter. Okay, so this is actually a pretty good color. This is actually exactly the color of the peanut butter. If you see little lumps, you can use the side of a paintbrush or a needle tool. And I just paint it on, making sure that I bring the peanut butter to all the edges so it will be able to be visible from a side view. So it looks like a nice sloppy gooey peanut butter sandwich. I'm actually going to bake these. Here is what it looks like finished. I put some liquid Fimo gel right on my paper, and I put a little bit of a color called eggplant. It's powdered food coloring, and I'm going to put a touch of lavender in here too, and you just keep adding until you have the right color. Once you have the right color of jelly, then you add your translucent liquid Sculpey to thicken it up so it doesn't just run off your sandwich. The Fimo Deco Gel is really thin. Just adding that translucent liquid Sculpey. I'm going to mix this up first. I'm going to mix some red into the translucent liquid Sculpey. Like I said, I'm already used to what that color looks like pre-cooked. So I added a touch more purple, and we are now going to decorate our peanut butter sandwiches. And the thing I like to think about with these little guys is that I don't want the jelly to swallow the peanut butter. So I try to bring it out to the edges, but not overlapping except for where I want jelly drips. I would put on the top bread and bake it. And then after it's completely baked, I come in and fill in any little spots that are missing. The very first batch of anything that I make, I always call the tester. And I always do this with one before I completely do all the rest. So what I'll do is, if, for instance, the color came out very pale for the jelly, what I would do is you could come back and fix it later. You could either do another layer of the polymer clay and rebake it, or you can pour a little bit of clear glaze. I'm using triple thick just because it is thick and it will dry with a little bit more depth than the thin ones, which is typically why I use it still. So I'll take that and then I'll use the same color that I was using for the jelly and mix it up real well. And as you can see, the color is nice and pretty realistic looking. Now, since the jelly is already part of a glaze, because we were just fixing this, that actually would dry shiny and you don't even have to glaze that.